Well, g'day everybody and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. This podcast is brought to you by the Mazda BT50. You do ute. Today on the show, it's the 2-minute warning out of round 20. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast wherever you're listening, please do that. Leave us a rating, leave us a review, and we're going to introduce the Streamer Screamer. So if you've got a local sporting highlight, a little video of yourself doing something handy at local level, you could win $5,000 with BHP Streamer Screamer. Head to streamer.com.au/screamer for more information and to submit your clips. All right, let's get stuck in. This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniels. And I'm by the way your eyes lit up on the Streamer Screamer, BHP Streamer Screamer grab, I'm telling you, go for it. Go on.
Well, the way you've just become a company man, just flogging products left, right, and centre, like you're just
makes me uncomfortable.
Hijacking this podcast like it's your own advertising billboard.
I know. It makes me uncomfortable. Firstly, quickly, because the cameras are out, I haven't pissed myself. It's honey that's dripped down the front of my pants.
Yep.
So that stain isn't actually urine.
For once.
Yeah, no, usually it is. Don't worry. And secondly, Nick, Ryan, a bit sad today.
Why?
Well, what's going on?
What's happening?
They got beaten to a story this morning.
I
You got
did not.
scooped.
I did
You
not.
got scooped. Didn't
No,
you?
the Sultana brand.
Fair to
the old
say.
scoop.
No,
Fair to
I
say.
did not get
What's that?
beaten
Is that
to a
the
story.
three scoops of raisins or something? What's that?
Not
Two
sure,
scoops?
not sure. But I was just hanging by my phone waiting to see when's Shannon Hearn retiring. What's the news? Kept checking your Twitter feed.
Nothing.
Tumbleweed, nothing. And then wow, Lex throws up Shannon Hearn retiring today, and then you hang off her coattails.
You know my process with retirements. I've said
don't.
it before. I don't do retirements.
Nah.
In my personal belief,
Well, it's about time you start doing something then.
oh, please. In my personal belief, retirements should be left up to the club or
let's
the
say,
player.
Let's say you've gone 6 months without a good scoop. But what about, how do you feel about it at that point?
Nah.
You say he's been 6 months.
No, well, no.
Oh,
he's had a
please.
couple,
Hang on. So you're
had a
telling
couple of mini
me
scoops along the way, I reckon.
Yeah, there's a lot of mini scoops, like those little ice creams you get, you know, the
Yeah,
kid
not
size.
quite Sultana
who's
brand.
Buddy's manager?
It was
Isn't it his
Pickering,
missus?
wasn't
No,
it?
it's not
And then
Pickering.
Doesn't
changed.
Jacinta just look after
I think
him
she
now?
looks after him now.
Yeah, he's probably got other people as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Well, he
say,
signed like a 10-year deal. No one really needs to service that contract.
well, what
after
do you
one
think?
or
What do you think
two.
he's making off field?
Yeah, well, that's someone. Get someone to handle
Yeah,
the off. You
yeah.
got someone like a celeb talent.
Yeah. So we'll call him
It was a lady.
Josh. We'll call her Well, I can't use Jacinta because that's the wife. We'll call her
Jessica.
Samantha.
Samantha.
Right, Samantha.
So your phone rings yesterday and it says Samantha's ringing you, and you
Yeah.
answer, "Hey Sam, how you going? What's
Yep.
going on? What's news?" Oh, actually, what's news, Rhino? Is Lance Franklin's retiring today. I've
Right.
told you first. No one else knows about it.
Right.
You just slide the phone back in your pocket and say, "Nah, fuck."
No,
off.
no, because
Not
in
for
that
me.
situation...
Not for me.
Hold on. If Buddy's manager,
Oh,
Samantha,
hang on.
is
Okay, well,
calling
let's
me up and
change it.
saying, here's the story...
Well, let's change it to you're in the Dower and front bar. Lance Franklin Senior's perched up there and says, "Oh, hey," he's talking to his mate. Says that
Yeah,
Lance,
Lance
son's
is
retiring.
Hold on. I've overheard this.
You've overheard this.
So he hasn't come up to me and said, hey,
No,
righto,
It's
here's the
Lance
story.
Franklin.
He's doing it
Lance
today.
Franklin
Senior.
today.
Lance Franklin Senior.
Speaking pretty open.
Speaking pretty
not
open.
whispering it to
Just
a mate at
sipping
the
on
bar.
a pony.
But he's not talking to me
Well,
talking to the wider Dower and
there's
community.
more chance you're by yourself in the pub, yeah.
at Darren.
Yeah.
I don't think he lives in Dower.
Just
anymore.
driving
He doesn't,
through.
he lives over
Just
there.
driving through. No, because he hasn't told me. It's just one thing I have. With
Lance
retirements, I don't touch them because
Franklin.
it's not my story. The one thing I think with retirements is if you get it slightly wrong, and I'm not talking whether they're retiring or
trouble.
not, just the delivery on it, you just get
about-
annihilated.
Let me throw a situation to you. Like you here today
Yeah.
through like a close source. Let's say, what are some of the sounding board ones? Like an intimate
Intimate
a
source.
source.
Yeah, an intimate source.
Intimate source.
Impeccable.
With intimate knowledge of the situation.
With intimate, impeccable
Yeah.
source with intimate knowledge of the
Impeccable source,
situation
yep.
that Trevor Nisbet's going to stand out.
That's different.
Retire.
That's-
Is that different? Player
that's
to-
that's
for
different.
Front office?
I think that's different. And I would work my butt off to confirm that.
He's going to do it in 7 minutes.
So the Hearn thing today.
Do you want to know if he's going?
So the Hearn thing today, I had like probably 10 minutes before it went out, and I thought, okay, what do I do here? Do I call
So
someone
was
to
it sent
confirm?
out?
No. It eventually came out in a member's
released
email.
it.
So I don't like, that's the one I don't like. And I had an argument with a journalist, I don't know, 10 years ago. A player was retiring, and
Yeah.
the only way they knew was because of a club memo going out to the media
Oh, they
to
didn't.
say we're having a press conference
Right.
So, and without that, you didn't have the story.
No.
And now you've broken it before the person could speak to his own family.
I just don't think there's anything to win from it.
Yeah.
I just think and that's just me. And I've said this before. Other journalists do what you need to do. Like everyone has their own process and code and stuff like
We're going to talk about Lance a bit in Sydney.
And Bunga as well,
But-
in the West Coast segment.
Okay,
I've got
so-
a big Bunga thing planned.
were you sad?
got a big banger.
Were you a bit sad yesterday
Yeah.
when you saw the
Do you-
highlights of
I was
Franklin?
going to say, I was sad, and then I spent like a very long part of the day watching some bloke. I wish I could give credit here. I haven't got time to look back on it, but he had done like the 20 greatest goals from Bud.
Yeah.
in a row.
Which goal showed the most?
Kale.
Well, the back-to-back.
Kyle
No,
Hooker.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you know who the great winner of that is? Mark McVeigh. Because 4 minutes earlier, almost identical, McVeigh's running behind him. But we only remember the Kale Hooker
Can you remember
one.
so Jordan Lewis kicked it to Franklin, ball goes out the back, and that's where that passage of play starts.
Yeah, it goes over the top, yeah.
I kicked it to Lewis.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
Let's just extend the passage of play a fraction.
you want to be the McGovern in the grand final play.
Yeah, if it wasn't for me getting it out,
Oh, here we go.
that goal's not happening.
Okay. Well, no, that is pretty cool, though. You are a part of the chain.
I'm a part of the chain.
Nobody knows.
In one of
No one knows.
one of the 5 greatest goals we've ever seen.
And it was unbelievable kick too by me.
Oh, was it?
Left foot, just get it out. If in danger, bomber out. Just sent it.
I might see if I
land on
can,
Louis
I might see if
Lewis's
I can
chest.
find the vision.
Let's go. Let's start a campaign to
The real
extend
hero.
vision.
The real hero of that moment.
Yeah.
The other one that,
When Rhino says we might be able to find it, just give me 5 seconds.
the other goal that I loved is the one where I think it was
jump?
Collingwood, where he jumps
jump,
over the
yeah.
bloke and then nails
Sans
it.
Wire, I think it was.
I
on
was
the
like,
floor.
you got to be kidding
Mate,
me.
you-
Like, that's
unbelievable.
just stupid. There's literally no one else in the history of the game who could have done that. When I was watching all the goals, I was like, is there anyone, the only one who shocked you just as much was Ablett Senior. When you were like, oh, piss off.
I
Like,
wasn't
that's-
old
yeah.
enough, Fabulous.
Well, I remember bits of it. Like, I can remember.
How old are you?
40 this year.
Yeah.
You're 40 this year.
I am, yeah.
Going
Yeah,
about 5
right.
Big
years.
4-0.
So explain the grace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's distinguished. I just wanted to give you a shout out, Dave,
Oh.
before we move forward.
Oh, this would be good.
No, this is a compliment.
Right.
Because I noticed last week he goes and he's buying some shoes for the young fella, some
Yeah.
new runners, goes into a sports shop
Yes. Sorry, yes.
and makes him do some 20-metre sprints.
Rebel Sport.
Yeah, hold on a minute. You didn't tag Rebel Sport in it, which means you weren't getting the shoes for free.
Full tote.
Or did I miss?
I'd audit that.
Oh, no. However, no, there's no tag here.
Is there a story that might have gone up and disappeared?
yeah.
So hold on a minute.
Thanks to
I'm
the
giving
team
you
at-
credit, and you've got those shoes for free.
Nah, I'm joking. Mate, I don't get anything for free.
Rubbish.
I actually don't.
Rubbish. But then, no, because I've worked out how he gets out of this. He says it's not for free, and then he charges his time because it's not free.
his energy to
Do you know what I
post.
mean?
Yeah,
so that
okay.
they're paying for his time. So
Paying
he's not
for his influence.
exactly. So he's just found a loophole in this whole system, and it's about.
Not paying, yeah.
I don't do
Not
it for free. I give my time, and that costs money. I figured it
The
out.
stories we tell ourselves.
I figured it out.
I get the game,
No, yeah,
but
yeah, you do get the game.
but
got it all
you are
figured out.
absolutely overstating the
Your influence.
what I get for free.
Rubbish.
Nothing, mate.
Rubbish. I think all the listeners know what's really happening
yeah,
here.
mate, you
I
tell
think they
yourself
all
that
know what's
story.
really
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
happening. Now, have you got anything, Nick, before I
No, roll straight in.
No, well, so I just wanted to say we've had 2 emails this week about the order. Now, there was some questions last week about remember we were trying to figure out what the
Yeah.
order was? The order was
Points.
in order of points for the weekend, and
Yes,
the tiebreaker was
behind
goals.
goals.
Now, we've had James Tharman who sent that in. He sent it in again. He's given us another one, right?
Yeah.
There was also another bloke who sent in an order as well. That is Adam Thompson. I love his
Tomo.
order. I love Tomo's order.
But that's
Now,
holdable, right?
Well, Tomo's order will hold till next week because it won't change. Whereas
Okay.
James's one will not hold. So we're going to go with James's
Righto.
this week. Now, here's the go. If you-
And we thank
Oh,
Tomo.
absolutely. And Tomo
And
will use you next
we're
week.
getting there next week.
So,
So
James, don't send one in next week. Nobody else. We're going to use Tomo's next
Yeah.
week. Anyone who wasn't listening last week, basically, Nick does shit orders. So we've now got the listeners doing
Outsourced it.
the orders there. We've outsourced them.
Oh, I did have something to read.
Okay. Now, I don't know what the order is, but he has hidden it in a a message here, so
we can find
I
it
will
in.
know after.
I did have to raise. So somebody messaged the Hardball Gets AFL account asking for me to be shamed, basically not knowing that I'm the one who checks the Hardball Gets Instagram account. Marchie asked me to raise the goal that I kicked from 10 metres out of training. Went to footy training last week.
Oh.
For a past players night. Trained. Back went after like 2 minutes.
You trained?
Yeah, well, I hobbled around the field.
Wow.
So back went, couldn't pick up a ground ball after 2 minutes because I actually couldn't bend over. And then we did set shots at the end from about 35.
Yeah.
And I was going up thinking,
definitely
this is going to catch.
35.
It's not going to work here. So I tried the hutchie and did a balk to the man on the mark, got around him, but it went left and I had no left. So I was about 10 metres out, couldn't even make
It's
that.
so much,
Just skewed off
it's so
to the
much
side.
easier to sell candy to your preferred foot, but then you got to worry about what you're going to do when you get around them onto your
Oh,
non-preferred.
mate, it was just not. It was not a good look.
He
It
hadn't
just
thought that
reminded
far
me-
ahead. That's the
I really
weed.
well, no, because he kind of moved halfway there, and so I took the opportunity, and then was I had no skill to begin with, and I went the wrong way.
What was
so.
the kicks to beer ratio that night?
Yeah, it was pretty even.
Yep.
I would say over
Yep.
the journey. Yeah.
Yep. 6 or 7 kicks, 6 or 7 beers.
Well, that's I probably overstated it a little bit. We'll see how we go.
Okay, let's get into it. Okay, now the mystery order. We start this week with the Adelaide Crows. That is me. Quick shout out. One bloke, I don't reckon we've mentioned him all season.
Right.
First year player, Max McElhaney.
Oh, Michael Laney, isn't it?
Is it
I think it's
Michael-
Michael.
McElhaney?
McElhaney?
Yeah, good.
Anyway, really solid defender. He's played just about every game. I think he missed one.
How many rebound 50s did he have on the weekend?
I don't know,
think
but
it's bloody high.
I really like this kid. He's really composed for a first-year player. They got him as a father-son, I
Yep.
think. I like him. That's just a nod.
Yeah.
But Matty Crouch, we've got to talk about him.
I love Crouch.
Out of the wilderness. He's played 2 games back. This is his average in those 2 games. 27 disposals, 7.5 tackles, 9.5 clearances, 11.5 of those disposals were contested, and 5 inside 50s.
So in the first
doing
week,
something
the
with
first week you had 22, sat a bit of time on the bench.
Yep.
But I think he had maybe 9 score involvements. I think it was the most on the ground.
Yep, and 9 tackles in that game as well. His contested possessions on the weekend were insane, and 12 clearances. He was incredible. So where do we sit with Matt Crouch now?
So-
Does this mean he's back in the fold at Adelaide?
Well,
and
he's better than Soligo and he's better than Schomburg. And until that, he plays, I think.
Yeah, but then what do you do if... Okay, so if you're Matt Crouch, are you sticking around?
No.
You got to go.
Yeah,
Because even though this has been a nice little
He had a contract this year?
If he,
think
he would be,
is.
yeah.
I think he
if he
is.
can get another contract somewhere, you take it. But I don't know if they're falling out of the trees.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But this is perfect for him.
Yes,
I've still got it.
he needs to nail the last
Yep.
4.
FYI,
Needs
I'm
to
still
nail the last 4.
capable.
But I would say, I was talking to Selby yesterday about it.
Yep.
Coaches, they've gone on some wacky convention. They've all smoked the hooch and thrown up the stupidest ideas they can come across.
Yeah.
So like Max Gorn, we're going to play him forward.
Oh,
That's
you mean
what-
this year?
Yeah, this year.
Yep.
And Matty Crouch is one of them. There's no way in the world
He's
Adelaide
no
are a worse team with Matty Crouch playing in the midfield.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
somehow
care what
they-
anyone
they
says.
came to that conclusion
Yeah.
early last year and decided, no, he's done.
He's done.
Yeah.
Done. These 32 touches are nowhere near as good as Soligo's 7.
Yeah,
He's done.
He's getting 40 in the sandful.
Yeah, no, can't have him in there. He has too many clearances.
Yeah, it's odd. And
Too
it
many.
doesn't sound like he's a bad egg either.
No, he's a good fella.
It's not like he's this dude who's making trouble.
He's a good fella. Good
Yeah.
fella.
Mm.
And
And they wanted to keep him around at the end of last year too, wasn't there? Was a bit of trade talk about whether it was a trade, and they sort of said, "No, we want him."
I don't think they could get anything.
Yeah, okay.
I thought he was hard to move.
Yeah.
I thought they wanted him to stay.
He'll have some suitors this year, for
You
sure.
reckon?
Yeah,
You reckon
just the
he
size
continues?
and the experience. Absolutely, he's going to get another go. You can't
Right.
have a game like that in a big game.
Okay, mate, don't yell because you didn't get the breaking story about Butler.
He's still
Jesus.
Oh, next bloke who retires, I'm just going to
Who's
break
next? You're
just for
doing
you.
the list, remember?
Sorry. The West Coast Eagles are next, which again is me. I didn't rig this. Okay, Shannon Hearn retires. 332 games, most by any Eagle ever. He'll add a couple more to that. He's definitely going to play the last 2 home games at least. 2 All-Australians, premiership skipper. Now, I did a quick list of the greatest Eagles defenders to see where he sits in it.
It's a
Right.
decent
I
crowd,
had, and you could argue about a couple of these, but I think I got him in the right spot. Djakovic, number
Speaks
1.
himself.
McKenna, number 2. McGovern, number 3. Darren Glass and McIntosh, you could decide which way you want to go with that.
Yeah.
I had Glass slightly ahead. I had Woosher at 6, and it's Bunga next. So I had him ahead of Monkey Brennan, Wirra,
Jeez, Monk will be flat.
Brad Shepherd, Eric McKenzie, and Tom
Jeez,
Barris.
That's some good defenders.
That's some bloody good defenders.
List for 30
so,
years.
do you agree that I've got him in the right spot? They're the 7th best Eagles defender, and you could argue he's ahead of Whoosh just on longevity.
Yeah,
but
but
Whoosh
not
is a
like
two-time
club.
premiership
captain as well, though, Bunga.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he
And
gets
two-time All-Australian. Never won a club champion award, but there was some
Well,
good
that's
players
what I
in it.
think it should be done on is the club champion award.
Well, Woosha won one of those, but no All-Australians.
no, don't worry about all Australians.
But this isn't a Woosha versus Hearn. It's just, is it?
Yeah, you get-
is he
got
in the
one on.
right spot? You think about 7th?
Club champions is a good reflection.
So you'd have him ahead of Wirra, ahead of Shepherd, McKenzie, and Barris.
yeah.
Yeah, and then
Easy did win a BNF.
and ahead of Monkey Brennan.
Well, I can't
Hard to
remember,
compare
Mark, but yeah.
eras. Bloody good player, Monkey Brennan, 2-time premiership player. But he's behind.
Two-time premiership
So
captain.
I think. And do you know his first kick in footy, Shannon Hearn, was a goal from 60 metres out on the run.
Doesn't surprise me.
It's perfect.
And
Played
he
against him in
looked the
junior
same.
level.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did
He
he
was
have
a
receding
man
hairline
child
then?
back
Yeah,
then.
Big Dan.
Yeah.
Big.
He's a fantastic player. I think he's underrated.
Oh, massive.
National.
And I think he had to be convinced to announce a retirement, right? He was just going to walk.
Well,
yes,
like Bud.
correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bugger. Yeah.
The buddy as well.
Oh, buddy.
Bud was like, I'm not doing a press conference.
Didn't even go.
I'm out.
The Bunga's
Yeah.
talking this afternoon, so at least he's going to have a comment.
What the conversations we spoke about in Triple M on the weekend about going around again.
Yeah.
I was never going to say it, but I was like, no way in the world should you go around again. No way.
That just, on the weekend though, going to Larky,
But all those good players can still play well at the end of it all.
I know, but isn't
and
that
that's the
great?
point about Matt Crouch as well is
giving up 11 centimetres in about 10 years on Larky.
Yeah.
Keeps him to 2 goals. Well done, Bunga. The next on the list is St Kilda.
That is me. Where are we? Oh, so this is a lesson on the weekend. Don't let Wanganeen Miller have 30
Jeez, he's
plus.
good
So my
disposals.
comment
a good
in
player.
the West today around Team of the Week, he was in there. 2021 draft. Have a look and see how many players you draft before him.
Where's he? He's about 13, 15?
Yeah, he's down the order, maybe 11 or something, whatever he was. But not many better than him.
What is it? What's the draft? Hang on.
You
Will bring
do
up the
your
draft?
point. I'm going to find it.
Well, my point was just I just wanted to. So 30 plus, it's a bad time for everyone else. 33 disposals, 10 marks, 81% disposal efficiency with 30 plus disposals, which doesn't happen a hell of a lot.
I think if you're playing St Kilda, isn't he number 1?
Yes.
Just the old
Like on the board with you, the
yeah.
the first coach's meeting of the week when you're
Just
looking
lock
at
him down on
opposition.
the outside and
Yeah.
worry about the rest of them.
11 he was.
Okay.
Just want to quickly run through the first 15
Go.
and just say yes or no.
Whether you take Wanganeen Miller? Go.
Yeah. Horn Francis.
No.
No, it's
Jury's out for me.
Yeah.
Sam Darcy.
I'd take Wanganeen.
Finn Callahan.
Wanganeen. Ooh, I like
Oh,
Finn
I
though.
like
Yeah,
I like
Finn a lot.
but we like Finn,
Line
but he
ball.
hasn't done anything near as what Wanganeen's
He's
done.
very good on the weekend.
Slight edge for
He's
Wanganeen.
done nowhere near as much.
Okay, slight edge.
Nick Dacos.
No,
probably,
I'm
yeah.
not doing that.
Mac Andrew. Shown a bit.
Yeah, no, I'm taking
Miller.
Wanganeen though.
Yeah. Rochelle.
Ooh, give me Rochelle, but just.
Yeah, I'm not.
Been-
We're not doing Finn.
This is a good draft.
Josh Ward.
Oh, I like Josh Ward, but I'm still taking
No, I'm
him.
taking
You are. Like,
Miller.
we like
Wanganeen
these
Miller.
players.
Still taking
It's a show that we
Wanganeen.
Yeah,
like.
he's doing it now.
Yeah.
A miss.
Oh,
Taking
geez.
a miss.
So, key
Keep
position,
forward.
hard to find. I'd take him.
Gibcus.
No,
Wanganeen
you take
Miller.
Wanganeen. But Gibcus is a good defender as well.
Erasmus.
Wanganeen
Wow, geez,
Miller.
this is a bloody good draft shaping up here. Wanganeen and Miller are still though.
Sin.
Well, yeah, clearly
Wanganeen Miller.
Wanganeen.
Oh,
Is he in the game? No. Wanganeen Miller.
Yeah, clearly.
Chesser.
Wanganeen Miller.
And Alir.
Leek Ali, yeah.
Lake Kalia.
Yeah. Look,
That's a bloody good draft.
he's
though.
certainly top 4 in my eyes in that draft.
Yeah, but that's going to be one of those drafts we look back on and go, how stacked was that?
Well, this kid's at the top of the tree to me.
Yeah, other
Really?
than Dacos.
Nick doesn't count.
Yeah, that's
He's
doesn't get
outside of the... Okay, Western Bulldogs.
That's also me. So the question overall.
What about
that
when
was-
you realise
wow,
it's
wow.
him and then his voice breaks? You got nothing on
I
the
got
dogs?
nothing. No, I got to remember because I actually did this ahead of time. and
What's the
then I skipped
vibe?
yesterday.
What's the vibe?
What's the vibe down there at the moment?
No, my question is what? So when do Luke Beveridge's credits run out? Like the thing with Western Bulldogs is there's never you can't tell what the plan is from week to week, let alone season to season, because he's throwing blokes all over the place. On the weekend, then this is how many weeks in a row we mentioned this bloke, but Rory Lobb being thrown back over Norton. Just there's weird stuff always going on at the Bulldogs, and
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever a consistent. This is how we play.
It's clearly...
this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Do you think too much? I love Bevo. I was at Hawthorn there when I was there. But do you think sometimes they're coaching for the win too much rather than just letting the game play and win? Like trying to do too many moves
Yeah.
to then try and
Overthinking it.
win.
I
Like
think
trying to coach
overthinking it
for a
in the
victory
lead-up, yeah.
as opposed to going, we've got a game style. We've got 22 players. Our 22 players are better than their 22 players. We're going to win 8 times out of 10 if we play properly.
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
This is how we play.
In your experience, are there
Never changed.
Are there coaches that like are really hands-on and micromanage, and then others that are more like, all right, you guys get out there and play, and I'll let you know if anything goes wrong?
You train so hard for your game style that nothing would really change.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's Clarko's whole thing of lose a soldier, replace him with another.
So in your mind, what should a coach be doing?
Nothing.
Just letting everyone play.
Just get the style, pick the team, maybe implement a tag or a little strategy around a stoppage you want to do.
Change a matchup in the middle of the game.
Yeah, Tim English is a gun ruckman. We don't have a gun ruckman. So at times we're going to have someone run with him or whatever. Like,
right.
But not, righto, today Luke Hodge, you're going to go to full forward. Sam Mitchell, you're going to go half back.
Yeah. And then halfway through the game, might switch you to
Jordan
the other
Lewis,
side.
we're going to go third man up with you every second time, and then you're going to go back pocket to rest. Like, you're coaching, you're trying to do too much to win it off your own bat, when really you go, if we just play Hodge, Mitchell, Lewis in the midfield,
We'll win 9 out of 10.
we're probably going to win.
That's right. And I think, because it's hard to argue against it too, because there have been these little patches where that has worked, and they've won a flag once and made a grand final another time.
I still love the Dogs. I still reckon they can do some damage. And you look at it
but
and go,
I wish there was just like a one way to do it.
yeah,
They've got talent.
I think at times they've got players who are a bit slow. Like Bond's not lightning, McRae's not lightning, Libba's in there and under. Sometimes they need a little bit more speed, and that's why one might get spat out for someone quicker to get in there.
Hold on. You're done. Are you extending?
I still reckon the Dogs are a big show.
Okay. Gold Coast Suns are the 5th team on this list, ranked on a stat from last round.
That's me. How's the old Dane Zorko with the succulent Chinese meal? Get your hands off my penis. How funny was that?
What do you mean?
So Took Miller's like grabbed him on the goalies.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah,
Squirrel.
and then he straight away like, you grabbed me nuts.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. So I
I
actually thought he said that on the field. I was like, man, you've seen a voiceover. That's
you know
not
what
happened.
I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was the same sort of vibes. And then he's reloaded it again on, was it social media or something?
Well, I don't know where that came
You
from.
can do whatever you want with the groin region.
Where'd the second one go? Where was it? Was that on social media? No, the comment.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure.
Where was that? Was that on radio or?
I don't know where he said that. He must have some.
It was
media
quoted
deals over
everywhere.
there. Yeah. He. How do we feel about Zorko doing all the calling out of it? Like, it's not like he's got the cleanest rap sheet.
Yeah.
Like, he's had some questionable moments himself. Are we sure that he's the guy that should be calling it out?
Yeah.
Like,
no, but I mean, if you get your dick grabbed, you get your dick grabbed. You
also,
don't go, hang
it was the
on.
nuts, not the. It was the berries, not the.
But I mean,
twig.
it
Gotta
was
slow
probably
it down.
everything.
I think it was the berries.
Slow it down and see which bit was grabbed.
But I mean, it doesn't matter if you've got a bad record. You can't just walk around grabbing someone's nuts.
Yeah.
But the funniest
game.
was Luke Hodge.
Zorko's nuts are fair game.
Did you see Hodgie's Instagram? So when Hodgie played against Hawthorn for the first time, Birchall was bent over and just grabbed him on the end of the
business. The business.
And you could just clearly see him squeezing the end of it, and nothing happened. I was like, how is that look in the game, like surviving? That Birchall just grabbed him and gave him a big pinch on the end.
It's amazing.
It's hilarious. I'll try and find it still.
He also needs some more restrictive shorts. This is my concern for him. How is that not falling out at all times? If it's that easy to access, why is there not some tighter underwear?
Just grab, and it's not. You watch it in real time. He's not deliberately grabbing him on the penis, right? Like he's just going. He's grabbing whatever he wants.
It was like a wrestle.
You reckon it was a
I
squirrel
reckon
grab?
he
It was like
squeezed.
it was a wrestling move.
Oh yeah,
wasn't it?
I think once he had a hold, he had a squeeze.
Yeah.
but I don't think he was aiming for it when he went in. The other one, just a quick shout out, Ben Ainsworth. So 11 goals in his past 7 games.
Yeah,
Getting to that
he's playing well.
25 tackles, 8 score involvements on the weekend. Yeah, I don't know where he's. Oh, this is the Luke Hodge
He just
picture.
clamps him.
Oh yeah, right. That's right on there. Hello.
And Burt's got nothing.
That's amazing.
That's the whole package.
Well, it's not like
It's just gone the whole lot.
there's not going to be a rule for it, is there?
Oh, mate,
Like,
I'm
is
pretty
there a rule in the
sure.
rule book that you can't?
bringing the game into disrepute. Or
Well,
something?
is it all folds under something?
Something like that. Surely you can't.
medium impact.
All I
Medium
think,
impact.
all I think when you see
Medium
those.
impact. He felt a bit crook in his guts for a while
Yeah,
after.
you know the little squeaky little horns that you squeeze. You go, mer, mer. All I think is Birch grabbing it and Hodge go, mer, mer. Anyway, that'll do it.
This has got to end. Next on the list is the Carlton Football Club.
Oh, I've got Carlton. Let me get to where I am at the moment. Carlton Footy Club. We've spoken about too many chefs in the kitchen at times for the Blues. I think we all think Sam Walsh is a good player. I think we all think Adam Chera's a really good player.
Yeah.
I think we all think Harry Mackay is a good player.
Yeah, they're all very good players.
Great players. But they're playing at their best football when they're not all in there.
Kind of what we've been saying all year.
And I want to give some love to a few Carlton players. Nick Newman the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yep.
Averaging 24 disposals.
Yep.
Akers the last 5 weeks, 23 disposals.
Yep.
Dow can play. I think he's been sub 4 of 6 games this year. Like, I just want to see him have a decent go. And George Stewart, since being sub and returning 23 disposals, they've finally got enough people around the footy that just don't need to be the stars.
Well, do you know what that says to me? The role players are getting involved.
The role players are doing the role.
And we've been saying this all year. It's about they were top heavy with stars, relying on a few, and the other guys were just kind of there.
Yeah.
Now you remove a couple of stars by injury. Walsh, Chera misses a game and a half. Mackay's out injured. Suddenly everybody steps up. And the other thing is, then Curnow goes, all right, I better step up here. And then Cripper's gone up a notch, I reckon, in the last couple of... Like, all of these guys are going, oh, well, I better do more.
Yeah.
And then the role players are like, oh, I better do more. It's just...
Can Carlton do damage?
Addition by subtraction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can they do any damage?
You wouldn't. I think they're the wild card team in the finals. Like,
Currently 7th.
yeah, I think they're the team that you could see them winning any game, but they could also just go out in a very disappointing fight.
What are you hoping for?
Oh, I don't.
I think they'll flame out.
I think I'd like to see Carlton.
Would they
be
beat
good.
St Kilda this week?
Yep,
Do they beat Melbourne the week after?
maybe, probably not.
Suns?
Yep.
Giants?
Well, that's going to be a good game. Is
Some
that the
good
last
games.
game?
Yeah,
Is that the
last
last
game.
game?
At
Giants.
They might make that the last game of the round.
At Marvel.
You know how they can move that fixture? That could be the final one to see who gets in or who plays who.
Yeah, do they usually do that on a Sunday night?
Yeah, because
I've got the bye.
Yeah,
because they got the
change
bye
it.
now.
They got the bye.
That's why they do that. Okay, Sydney.
I've got the Swans. Lance Franklin, just really quickly, the Sydney Swans are making a charge for the finals as well. I just want to touch on, I think we thought that Lance had died in the arse. You know, like he was just old and weathered. So in 2021, from the home and away season, he kicked 48 goals from 17 games. That average was just behind Harry, who was going at 3 points. So he was the second highest average goals, kicked over
Goals per
50.
game.
Yep. So he kicked 50. The year before, 2022, so last year, Dance and Lance kicked 51 goals. So he was beating players like Taylor Walker, Charlie Cameron, Harry Mackay, Nick Larkey, all those players in there.
Certainly not a watch.
Is that how we remembered it, that Lance was still kicking 50s?
I thought that up until this was the first year where I've looked at it and thought,
He's a step
okay, yeah,
off.
this is it's starting to slow.
Yeah.
And he's got to make the right call, and he has made the right call. Last year, I didn't think he was like a hindrance or
He
like
kicked
a
50 odd. Yeah.
underwhelming. I thought he was a really good forward, and
just
particularly
wasn't-
these days. 50 is
Mate, that's what I've said.
Yeah.
We sit there going, oh, the King brothers.
They can't
Wow,
kick 50.
goodness me.
Yeah.
They kick 50, and I like the King boys because they
Yeah.
can kick 50, but 50 is a bloody hard thing to do.
Yeah.
We sung Rory Lobb kicking 35 last year. It was like he kicked 135.
And
Buddy
Bud the year
kicked
before
15 more.
kicking 50 odd, he missed 5 games.
So
He
his
got
last,
50.
his last game not injured.
Was
let's
here.
say, he kicked 4. Was it 4?
3.
3.
And turned the game after half time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not turned. When
But
Freo
didn't
was
know.
coming, he.
Okay, so is he the greatest in the modern era? And I'd say modern era, let's go from 87 onwards because that's when it became, a national competition.
Him and Gaz.
The conversation is him, Ablett Jr., you could throw Ablett Senior,
no, I
Carey,
think the
Judd.
modern era is more the 2000 onwards.
That's
For
what I-
25 years
Well,
there.
the modern era always moves forward, but to me, I like to group it in that era there. So if you want to go from 2000,
Yeah, I think I would have
can
him
we
ahead
extend
of, like,
it? You already
Carey.
used the
Because it-
extension.
because you
Yeah,
can't have-
No,
Oh,
it was an
cool.
accident.
You can't have Dunstall and Lockett and those guys.
Okay, so
It's a different era.
I'll give you 2000 then, but
Yeah.
can you include Carey in that conversation or no? You're not including
No, you
him
can if
either?
you
No,
want.
that was Adelaide. Carey,
Okay,
but
so
yeah,
it's Ablett Jr.
I think that's the.
It's are we including Judd? We're including Judd.
Yeah, he played for 20 years. So
All right.
he's almost played through the whole modern era.
All right, let me
One
get
or two is
let me
Ablett
get the
Jr.
numbers.
and
Hold
Buddy.
on, let me get the names. Ablett Jr., Judd,
Yeah.
Buddy,
Yeah.
Dusty. I guess
Yeah.
you're putting Fife in that grouping. No, but you
We
got to
went
rank
through
it.
this with Jackson.
Is there
We didn't have
there
Goods.
anybody else who we're putting in there?
Goods.
Goods.
Yep.
You happy with that one?
Yep.
Okay.
So is Buddy the top of that list?
Well, I think there's two. We spoke about two separate each other.
Yeah.
Two separate from the pack. My thoughts always was you can't stop Gary Ablett, but for us personally, Sam Mitchell would have 35, Gary would have 40, Gaz might kick a goal or two. If Lance Franklin kicked 6 goals, game over. If Lance kicked 7 goals, game over. 8 goals, game over. It didn't matter what you did.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what you do or what the person next to you did. We were winning that game of football.
Yep.
So in terms of him winning the games, I always thought that someone that's kicking the goals.
I think
would stand out.
you're right. I think they were both a whole level above, 2 levels above, and I think Buddy
daylight.
is number
Yeah.
1. Yeah,
Buddy.
Go to keep forward, buddy.
remarkable, just remarkable career. Some of those highlights, holy hell!
Skinny Bud was so good.
Oh,
Just do you see him as a Hawthorn or a Swan?
I don't.
I see him as a
one or
hawk.
the other.
I see him as a hawk
Yeah, I
too,
see him as a hawk. But I value the Swans.
Nick
period
hasn't.
in his
Nick
career.
Nick doesn't know he went to Sydney.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
Sydney,
He went
when's
to the
that?
Swans. Yeah, Richmond.
Who's got Richmond? That's me. Look, I was just going to bullet him.
Whenever there's a
Bullet
beat.
them.
We're killing the Tigers.
I feel like we talk about the same things every week with the Tigers. and I'm
Anyone
just done.
who's missed the order, it was Adelaide, West Coast, St Kilda, Western Bulldogs, Gold Coast, Carlton, Sydney, Richmond. Now it is Geelong. Now, Tom Hawkins, Hammy, time to
He called it a
hang him up.
What did he call it yesterday? The pig rope.
The pig rope.
Snaps.
We're trying to bring that in.
I've never heard of the
Have
pig
you
rope.
heard,
String,
have
pig
you heard
rope.
pig rope before?
I haven't. But
I've never heard
I'll
it.
roll
It's
with
amazing.
Yeah.
How has that not been? Maybe it is a thing, and we just haven't.
Nah,
heard
it's
it.
not. We're in the game of hamstrings.
Surely we would have known.
We're in the hamstring world, mate.
It's a pig rope.
Yeah.
Let's make that a thing. So Tom's done his pig rope.
Well, yeah. Have you heard the results?
It's not a big one. He's be training by the end of the week,
Carried on like a little buddy.
apparently.
Sympathy.
Or it's a big pig rope, to be fair.
It is a
But
big.
did you hear he's
They could pull a ship in on that one.
well, in the interview, he said, I've never really had soft tissue stuff
Nah.
before, so I don't know how to feel about it. He's played like 400 million games. How has he never had soft tissue stuff?
He might have put in the chat, when can you have a beer? He's never done one.
And Mark Blitzarves is the other one, and that one's a bit more serious. He might miss the rest of the home and away.
Yeah.
I would say...
Hawk will still miss 3 weeks.
Well, he can't play
He's
this
old.
week.
He's old.
Yeah.
Man.
At
Stuff
his
takes
age,
age to heal.
Got to be careful. Blitz, I think, is their most important player in terms of not their best. It's a different conversation. He's not their best player, but Blitzarves,
How
Because
we
he can go
vibing.
everywhere.
Mr. Fix It. You can put him in the ruck. You can put him on the wing. He can do a job. He can go back. I just think he's having that flexibility. You remove that from the team, and suddenly you can do a lot less stuff. Mark Blitzarves in any team is one of the first picked.
I know.
So that's a huge loss for them.
huge
I would
loss.
say, I'm not saying they're definitely not going to play finals, but I don't think they will now. I think when you add in those injuries to the way they're playing,
Some of the players, we are by highs and lows with Geelong.
Yeah.
All
When
over
they
the
beat
shop.
Sydney by 80, we're like, oh, they're back. Of
2
course
weeks
they
ago,
are.
I
We're
think
wrong.
we thought they were the dark horse in the
Yeah,
finals.
100% they're around. They're going to do some damage.
Yep, they're teasing us. They've
And
been
now you look
teasing
at
us.
it and think, yeah, I'm with you. Because
Yeah.
all of a sudden the players like Atkins, Holmes, like, oh, maybe I'm not.
And your bottom 6 gets worse
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Starts looking rough. The Melbourne Demons.
I've got the Melbourne Demons. Which player do you think I'm going to tip my hat to?
Oh, Petty.
Oh, Harrison. Yeah.
6 goals.
I'm not, but 6 goals, yeah. It's a player who's been around.
Melksham?
Nah, Jack Viney has been unbelievable. Their season was heading to an absolute disaster.
You love Jack Viney.
I used to not like him at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he used
I reckon the last year and a half you've
Come around.
I
really
couldn't have him, and now I love him. Like this last series, texting Jack Viney, that's a bit of a shame. I don't have his number. His last 5 games have gone 41, 25, 25, 27, 32 with goals in there. He had his lowest tackles since midway through the year a game has been 6.
Really?
Bar one game where he had his shoulder and was running around one arm. So he's doing it all. And we were talking to a mate the other day about like why Melbourne don't tag, but the players never get off the hook. Like they never go nuts against Melbourne.
Jack
really,
Viney's in there doing the work.
he's just smashing people and like you'll get it and you'll hit it out of your hands, take your legs out, bang, throw
I
you
get
over.
the feeling you'd hate to play against him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%. Like,
Be like, after the game, you'd be like, piss off.
yeah, no,
Sore.
he watching like
Sore
Petrarca and Max obviously are the difference in terms of the cream.
Yeah, and then Clayton, of course.
But the carnage that Viney's causing in that midfield, like Jordan's in there and he's sort of half manning up, half not, and all that sort of stuff. But the Jack Viney, if you're just sitting watching Melbourne this weekend, just watch how much stuff he just breaks up.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't get it. They don't get it. Someone will end up with it.
That's one of my favourite things to do is just to watch one player. It's hard with the way the cameras go, but if you can just keep your eye on one player at every moment, it's so different to watching.
Do you know what clubs should do? Ring me and say, Zave, we've got so-and-so next week.
Yep.
I then have a bet on a player.
Sure.
And I could tell you everything they did. Everything. I watch them like a hawk. I could recite every minute on the ground they're there because I'm like, get that footy, get that footy, get that footy.
Right, so they're saying we want you to do some scouting.
I'd be the best forward scout ever
and
to
then
play
to
the game.
give yourself some interest, you make a bet on the player.
Yeah.
I feel like the AFL would step in here and just say you can't do that.
Yeah, that's just-
but I like
got
the
it
idea.
No, mate, I've got eagle eyes.
The Fremantle Doggers, fantastic win for Fremantle. I reckon a lot of their supporters would be going, geez, where's that been the last 6 or 7 weeks?
I was at the pub with a Freo man, and they'd backed Geelong at the line. And they're like, oh, of course. First
This
time
is
I
the
backed
one
line.
time.
Christ, this is what I expected. And, crack the shits because they were winning.
It's a classic Fremantle win, very Dockery, as they like to say. The job from Hayden Young on Patrick Dangerfield I thought was fantastic. I reckon Young, and I reckon we've raised this a couple of times on this
Jordan
podcast
Dawson.
this year. Yes, there's some stuff there with they need something different in the middle. Big body, good user of the footy, smart
I saw
player.
a comparison yesterday to someone who's going all right this year.
Who's that?
Was it Jordan Dawson? Yeah, we just
just
took
said
them.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Thanks for
did ya?
listening.
Where'd
No,
you
but,
go?
but
I
he-
just saw they found a body in a paddock or something above you. I was like, what's going on
is
there?
it Hayden Young's? Because that's what we're talking about
Yeah.
right now.
I know, yeah.
But, he,
Patrick
but he
Dangerfield.
does share a lot of the similarities, right? Great
He
kick of the
does.
footy,
Great mark.
lefty, good size. And
Great size.
He's actually really tough. When you go to Dockers training and all the drills, Hayden Young's the bloke hammering dudes into the ground with his tackles. Like, he's a tough bugger. I love that, and particularly when Heath Chapman's back in the side, he can move into that back
Yeah.
line and he could free up Young. I
Corey
reckon
Wagner
they found
seemed
something.
to put it together on the weekend too.
Yeah, he looked good.
He didn't turn it
He's
over
a
as
headless
much.
chook.
Andy
But we
Brayshaw-
really like that Young role.
Oh yes.
Andy Brayshaw, one clearance. I reckon get out
He
in
just
the
doesn't
open.
go. He doesn't go near. Like
No,
the
so-
ball goes up and he steps.
But
back
also
and
reckon
waits.
that if you want the footy, and Andy's a great player and a nice kick.
But you want Hayden Young.
But you want Hayden Young getting those easy ones now
Yeah.
around the back.
I feel so much better about that midfield already.
When
if
you
you just
love-
go Sarong, Brayshaw, Young, and
Well,
then
he was
and then
fourth
Jager
most,
is the guy who comes in and
fourth
out.
most centre bounces.
Yeah.
in the team.
I would love Hayden Young to get it and then see Andy Brayshaw going forward.
So they've got
Yeah.
Brisbane this week. What does Young do this week? Does he go to
Someone
say-
has to go to Lockie
Does
Neal.
he go to Neil?
Has to. Someone has
Sits
to.
on Neil and rolls off him like
I love it.
Brisbane's record against
grabs his penis.
Brisbane's record with Lockie Neal being tagged is atrocious.
Yeah, it is. We'll get to Brisbane in a minute.
Do you reckon someone tries to grab Zorko's penis again this week? Just going for the
maybe,
squirrel grip.
Maybe.
It's not in the rule book.
It's not in the rule. No, you don't get a week.
Collingwood.
I've got Collingwood. We're raving about Collingwood and we've said all year there's no holes in that side. Does Cox get the arse?
It doesn't.
He's had 4
Yeah.
disposals, 8 disposals, 6 disposals, 3 disposals, played 32% game time on the weekend.
Jeez, he was sulking it too.
Yeah, I know. It was an early one.
Oh.
But, what do you do? He obviously plays the role of the second ruck. But is there a second? Like, Darcy Cameron now has been back and he's a good player.
He looks
Jeez, yes,
very-
he's
yeah,
a nice
he's in
player.
form.
He's top 5 ruckman probably in the comp. Do you go, sorry, Darcy, you're just going to have to play an extra 10% ruck?
Well, Mick stays the other.
Yeah,
But he's not.
No, he's not. But
big.
I mean, he's not like Mason's Max Gorn.
No,
He's got the
and Mick
size, but he's
Stay's
not exactly
like the best key
dominant.
forward in the world, so he needs a second.
I think
string.
if you're going to play McStay, and I think they need to, I think you can't play Cox.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
So
it's
my
one or the
check
other.
just goes standalone forward.
Yeah.
Whilst
while McStay's rucking.
Mick
Or you
Stay's
could,
Well,
rucking.
that kind of worked for him, didn't
you
it?
could put Darcy forward in one of those times. I
Mick
just
Stay's going 2 goals a game since his return.
yeah, I think McStay's a better fit. And I know what'll happen is Cox will go out of the side and he'll come back for some important
Kick
game.
four in a prelim.
Kick four
Well,
and then
that's the
stay
thing.
in the
Yeah,
team.
that's the thing. Every time you just think
He's
he's
an X
dead,
factor.
he just finds something.
Yep.
But I think he's dead now.
Yeah, he just signed a new contract, right?
Could
Well,
have.
you keep him around.
So I mean, dead for this wave.
Yeah.
This
It's
wave.
him or McStay. So if McStay gets an injury, he's in there.
Yeah.
Well, McStay's the one that stays.
I'd prefer Mick to stay. He
Yeah,
should
so
stay.
yeah,
he
same.
should Mick stay.
Oh, I think we've done that now.
Max should
Hey,
Mick go.
McStay. What's
Nick
what was the
Dacos
one-
had an offie on the weekend.
Max
Are we
Mason.
thinking he's tiring?
No, he just had one
Just
bad
had-
game out
He's
of
had
20.
no, but he's had a couple of quieter
And there was a
ones.
few moments on the weekend which everyone seems to highlight who hates Nick Dacos.
Oh, when he kicked a goal and burnt 4 people?
No, there were a few where he just stood out of the way a fraction. And I texted our group chat. I said, geez, Nick Dacos looks off it a bit early. And they're like, yeah, just stood out like a speaking, because you usually had him running, flashing. Just stood out. It was almost like he needed to have a bad week or a week off or.
No one can do it for the whole year.
Nah, he's been exceptional.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, Essendon.
I got Essendon. In the last 9 games Darcy Parish has played, what do you reckon his win-loss is?
Oh, I knew you were going to say something like 2 and 7. How many have they lost?
Well, they had a good patch. How many games do you reckon?
Geez, they're 13th.
In the last... Yeah, they've gone down. They were... But 13th must still have them sitting pretty close.
Yeah, well, they're only, what, 4 points out of the 8.
Yeah. What do you reckon the Parish record? 9 games. Last 9.
I'll say 7 and 2. I'll go
In terms of win-loss?
7 losses,
6
2.
and 3.
1 and 8.
Whoa!
1 win, 8 losses.
Well, that's not good.
1 and
You
8.
hate Darcy Parish.
Oh, no, I have to monitor sometimes. I just reckon when they had the blend of Zach Merritt being the
You got a
man.
manila envelope with a forward scout report on it.
I've had a few bucks on him the last couple of months. No, I just think when he's not so much in the midfield, it gives the opportunity to Hobbs. Archie Perkins comes in there. Jake Stringer goes in there. Zach Merritt's the man. I don't know. They all spread a bit harder because they're younger and they realise that they aren't as good as Darcy Parish. I'm not saying there's not a role for him. I just don't know if he elevates them that much.
Did he re-sign? He's a free agent this year, isn't he?
That's a good question. I know it was circling.
It might be next year. If, let's just say there was, if the fit doesn't seem to be Essendon, where would the fit be?
Out of contract at the close of 2023.
I saw a report a couple of days ago that they were nearing an agreement. I think that it's starting to look like he'll stay, whereas I think they thought that he and Redmond, or at least one of them, was going to go.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that Redmond didn't go to Adelaide.
Red Dog.
Well, he stayed on. He obviously got a big pay bump as well.
The contract quirk standing in the way of Darcy Parish re-signing at Essendon. That's just the headline. But yeah, I maybe a Geelong. They need someone who can find the footy in there.
Yep.
Maybe that'd be a great fit. I think he's from that way, is he?
I'd rather
all
just
seem to
let
be.
Tanner Broon just develop into that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like
Is there
Broon.
anything in that record? 1 and 8. The
There's
last.
something in it.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And they remember Essendon were good when he was away.
Yeah. That's true, because you had all those other blokes, Hobbs
Yeah,
and Caldwell.
Doing the Carlton roles.
Jeez, I wish we had 2 bullets, because I would have given
Tough hit.
Essendon that bullet pretty early on in the piece. Hold on, I've lost my track here. Oh, no.
This is what happens, mate.
We're in
It's a
trouble.
tough gig.
It is actually is tougher than you think.
Yes.
Give me one second.
trying to tell
Hold
you
on a
this the
minute.
whole time.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Not really.
Okay, here we go. What did we just do? Essendon, GWS, that's me. Okay,
Whoa.
quick shout
Whoa.
to Toby. My goodness, 5 goals.
Can we go around again? Best forward in the comp?
Is he the
I
best?
still pick
Is he the best?
Kerno, but he's like...
Is he the
Give me
best
Toby.
player in the comp?
Yeah, he probably
he's
is
probably
that.
the best
I think
player
he's
in
the
the
best
Probably
player
that.
in the comp.
That's a good call. We were arguing about forwards. I think he
Probably
trumps
the
everyone in the
best
We
comp.
landed on Dawson a few weeks ago. I think the 4 is Dawson, Dacos, Bontempelli, Toby in that mix
I'd be
somewhere.
happy
Yeah.
with that.
I
As a
think
4.
Toby at the moment in the current space is number
Toby's
one.
one because the Giants are heading towards one.
Now, we've given plenty of love to our man Kieran Briggs.
Briggsy.
His game on the weekend was another step up. 24 touches, 27 hit outs, 7 tackles. That's what he does well. 16 contested possessions, 8 clearances.
Yeah.
And I thought, where did he come from?
Give me the background.
He's an academy guy.
Oh, of course.
Pick 34, 2018, Giants Academy. Bit of an afterthought, not one of the high-prized
Just
academy
get him
guys.
in.
And just sort of toiled away in the twos. He
man.
was behind Bruce, behind Mumford, behind everybody else that they tried, Flynn. Really, the only
Bruce is
reason
still-
we've seen this is because of chance that's
Well, what
come
do you
up.
say? There's small guys you get 2 years to show you can play. Big guys get 8
5.
years.
Get
to
5
can't
years to
play.
show they
Yeah.
can't. But his opponent had a reasonable day too.
Max,
Tim English.
Tim
Tim
English, sorry.
English.
2 goals,
yeah.
25, 8 marks, 5 tackles, 33 hit outs.
Do what you can.
Yeah,
They
he
both-
might be one of those ruckmen where it's like
Everyone
everybody,
has a day.
fill your boots.
Yeah.
But he did. He could have been an absolute walkover.
So the Bruce, remember, I mean, he was always a bit of a robot to
Big
me.
Bruce,
Yeah.
yeah.
One of the strangest decisions has been his decision-making career-wise.
Oh, go to Melbourne,
Yeah,
then
but-
go to...
yeah.
But the Giants one was the one that was like,
Here
okay,
you
now
go.
here you go.
But then didn't Mummy say I'm going around again?
Yeah, and he
It was
just
weird.
hasn't had his body
Nah.
right, Bruce. He's got a heap of back problems.
Nah, it was weird.
Yeah,
And then every time he came in, he punched someone in the head.
or slammed their head into the ground. Briggs is their guy.
Briggs there, man.
Yeah.
He's their guy. That's it. They found it.
100%.
And he won't
finding
cost
it.
as much as some of these other guys.
So this is why they're getting good, because they're finding the right people for the right spots and leading.
Similar
it.
to Carlton, it's role-based as well. Next is the Brisbane Lions. Most disappointing game of the weekend, I would have thought, performance-wise.
What are you talking about? Had plenty.
Yeah, poor.
I
Very
think
poor.
really ordinary.
Especially against your rival.
Yeah.
First one that Gold Coast had won in a long,
Yeah,
4
years or something. But it's not like, you come over to, I pick just West Coast with when we were good, and you go, right, I can kind of cop losing when we go to WA, long flight.
Where Brisbane's at,
It's just it's a
they should just
Long
it's an
drive.
easy-
hour down the
yeah.
road, and there's a half-empty crowd. No
Depends
one's
on
there.
the traffic on the M1. Sometimes it takes ages.
Well, there wasn't much because there was no one there.
It's a pain in the ass. So the blueprint's there, I guess, for everybody, right? If you stop Lockie, you're just not. They're not going to be able to get enough movement out of that
particularly
middle.
now that Ashcroft's out too.
Yes,
They don't,
correct.
and I remember that first Q clash. He was just about best on ground, Ashcroft too.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very, very good.
Yeah.
I think it's a real concern for their premiership credentials. And we've already got the concern was already the playing out of Brisbane.
Yeah.
And it was what is Joe going to turn up? And now it's like, what if Ashcroft's out? And then you throw in the Lockie stuff.
And you turn up with your fingers crossed going, oh, gee, I hope they're not tagging, I hope they're not tagging, I hope they're not tagging, I hope they're not tagging. Oh,
Yep.
shit, they're
There's a
tagging.
couple too many elements coming in.
well,
where-
you know what? They could come out this week and flog whoever they're playing. But there's problems.
If Lockie's being tagged and they flog a couple of sides, I'll be convinced. But at the moment, since he's been tagged, they're not doing anything.
So they need to come to Freo this week. Lockie needs to get tagged by Hayden Young, and they need to walk out of here with a 6-goal win. And then
But
you
I mean,
go,
it needs to be a full-on tag.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not a go to each other at stoppages and part ways.
Yep.
Has to be off the grid, and it's not good for
But
Hayden
that
Young's. It's not good for Hayden Young's development.
Took ran off him. Yeah, 20.
but he ran away. He ran every
Very
time the
fast.
ball went forward. He would turn around and run backwards to find Lockie Neal.
Yeah,
and
okay.
because I had money on Lockie. So I had a really good idea what was going on. And then obviously when they got it, his running ability, there was vision of his running ability was just too. And Lockie was like, that's not for me. I can't keep up.
Yeah,
But
different athlete.
You've just got to stop him and just see what happens.
Hawthorn.
Do we love seeing a spray from a coach still?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that as good? Did you? When you saw it, what did you think?
I loved it.
Loved it. Yeah,
Yeah.
loved every minute of it. And particularly where they're at and where he's at and all of it. Like,
What was the little screwed up face? Like, wee. You did that one in the middle of it.
Yeah, and the cream on top, the actual cream, and I know it happened also in the West Coast game, was the sub 10 minutes after quarter time. Just going, nah, this is not working. You're off. Hooking that bloke.
now, do you think
Was that Mick Barlow back in the day, that game
Now-
he played on him?
Half time,
Yeah.
he
Do you
got
think
hooked.
it was
But third quarter, he officially got hooked. He didn't return after half time.
so? It was Seamus Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you think it was just bad timing from Seamus? Like, he's already pissed off Mitch, right? And
Yeah.
then Seamus has made one blue,
Oh.
and he's just gone, get him off.
But I love
like,
it.
Someone was going to get that bullet. It didn't matter who. It could have been anyone, but it happened to be Seamus in that moment.
The only time I can remember someone where he's got to be subbed off it was Van Rooyen in that earlier game we kicked three
Yes.
after the vest was
Yeah,
coming
yes,
in play.
that's right.
Yeah.
Not many of the players who were going to get subbed off turn it around in 20 minutes.
No.
Just
I
hook 'em.
remember, who
Just
was
hook
the
'em.
Western Bulldogs coach before Beveridge? Brendan...
McCarthy.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
We were at a NAB Cup game in Mandurah, and they had us right next to the coach's box. You could hear every word he was saying.
Yeah.
He absolutely sprayed some bloke, and I can't remember who it was. He's like, "Oh, his career on, mate. This is your career on the line," and then but immediately regretted it. He's like, "That's probably a bit strong, but you got to get out of there." Yeah, mate. It's February 18th.
I just think more hooking blokes. Bazzo was ordinary early.
Yeah.
And there was no matchup, and he was ordinary early.
As
Dropped the mark, kicked one, missed the target 15 metres, and then had a shit kick. Hooked, and someone had to be hooked. They needed 60 minutes out of Yowie.
The concern is, and Simo said this last night, it's a calculated risk because if you go early and then the earlier you do it, the more chance someone's going to get hurt and you lose that body. So you have to balance it. And I reckon when you're a team like where West Coast and Hawthorn are at, you can use it as a teaching tool because when you're in a good side that's playing good teams and you're trying to do significant things, maybe you've got to be a bit more conservative.
But a good side probably clearly has a 22. Whereas West Coast probably got 10 good players and 12 that could be anywhere.
North Melbourne.
Oh, this is me. This is a good fight back from them there. He almost came to the party.
5 minutes more, you reckon they get over the line?
Well, the Sheezel one probably,
Oh, yeah.
could have been over the line.
Did we see a reverse angle of that?
I don't think so. And it's because they don't review it right because it's a point.
Yeah,
They review goals and on your way back to the square, they review them all.
Yeah.
At the point, you don't have time. They kick it out.
We can still stop the game.
But I don't know that
They do it
that's
if
the
they think it's hit the post or whatever. Absolutely.
They stopped the
Yeah.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they didn't even do that.
Nah, which I thought they might have done, but anyway.
Hard when it's over the top.
Over the top, they go.
Yeah, what do you have? Like they should have a camera
A
on the
laser.
top.
I should have a
Yeah, a
laser.
little laser.
How good
More
was that?
lasers.
How good was Sheasel with the?
That pass.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
yeah.
And he
Right-
meant that too.
Right foot, top of the square.
Like it
LDU,
wasn't a
yeah.
fluke.
And then we talk about the rising stars. It's because nobody's watched North Melbourne games for so long.
Nah,
of
he's the
course
guy.
we don't know, but he's definitely the guy.
He's the guy.
Now
He's
he
just
is.
gone out of sight because no one
Now
wants
he's
to
the
watch
guy.
that.
Yeah. There was a conversation about it, which is great because it meant other people were pushing it. But it's Sheasel. And from round one, he's been brilliant.
So we don't-
Ashcroft, Sheasel, I think it was going to go Ashcroft. So
Because
I
of
reckon
the top
everyone was
four
going to
side.
vote for Ashcroft.
Yeah.
Right.
And 4 was going to be Sheasel.
Yep.
Then please yourself, whatever order. And now I think it's going to be everyone's 5 for Sheasel.
Everyone's
Yeah.
5 for Sheasel.
4 for Ashcroft. I reckon
Yeah.
it might just flip.
And please
Yeah.
yourself. The one I wanted to raise was Jai Simpkin. I know he's had a few injury things, but
Yeah.
he looked 3 years ago like he was ready
Yeah.
to pop.
Yeah.
And he averaged 27 that year and last year, but
Yeah.
last year not at the same level. He's down to averaging 19 disposals.
I saw someone
Yeah.
say
Can't get
Clarko's
it.
first move needs to be LDU as captain.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, so
yeah,
he's a
okay.
co-captain, right?
With
Simpkin
McDonald.
and...
McDonald.
Yeah, no, you need a better captain.
Oh,
But
Sorry.
I mean, I don't know enough about LDU's
no,
personality.
neither do I.
Yeah.
He's a good player, though.
He's a very good player.
He's clearly their best player.
Oh, he's,
Yeah.
he's clearly one. I think he'd be. I so did the tweet. Is he the best player in the worst team we've seen for a long time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like young Paddy Cripps in those Carlton teams that were really bad. Was
I don't
pretty-
reckon he's at
yeah.
LDU's levels with what he's doing.
Nat Fife in those bad
How
Freo
quickly
years
we
after
forget.
the
Yeah.
drop.
Yeah.
Goodness, that was
I know.
pretty good years
Cripps
for
was
Paddy
good.
Cripps.
Yeah. I don't know. LDU's speed and power from
Yeah.
contests, I think.
He needs to
separates
stay
him.
healthy, right?
He's pretty special. Port Adelaide.
Yeah, well, let's do Aaliyah concussion stuff. Obviously evolved a little bit in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But
What's the latest?
So now Lockie Jones and Alira
both.
are
they're both
both
in protocols.
in protocols.
Wouldn't you just hoped if you're Port Adelaide, I've got a headache. Okay, sweet. We can't say that, so you've got a hamstring.
This is where it gets really murky.
Well, the
Of course you're
AFL,
not gonna
I think
say
the
that,
AFL essentially told them, like, those boys are going into protocols.
You reckon?
So they're already ruled out for this week. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
For sure.
The AFL called it.
They put Jones in too, like just
Yeah.
to make sure of it. And so that
and
will-
also Zach Butters.
yeah.
Imagine if you're,
That's your punishment, Zach Butters.
Imagine
in
if you're
concussion
sitting there
protocol.
grand final week and you see Gills ringing you, they go, yeah, sorry guys, you're going to have to throw Nick Dacos. We reckon he's got a head knock.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can't be calling that.
Well, it's because of the
It's the
way
look.
it's happened.
I know, but you've got to trust the doctors.
This is what
You
I
have
want to
to.
discuss about it. Like, if
They need
it's,
to be independent though.
yeah, you need an independent doctor, but also, like, there is an element of the doctor has done the test and said he doesn't actually need the next one. Like, he's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I that's where I find the conflict with the greater idea of protecting the head and automatically going to the protocols with backing in people who you employ to do the job.
You got to
And he
back
tells
the doctors. You
it's
have
a tick.
to.
He's a tick.
You have to back the doctors.
With almost every the concussion thing is a bit different. Like we saw
of the look.
McGovern
Yeah.
get cleared, come back on play, and then 2 days later, oh no, it's
Yeah, but we
delayed
could-
concussion.
Yeah, but
then
So-
he's-
and then he's missed 2 games.
But
since
if
then.
there's a rule around that, then that's fine. But there isn't at the moment. It's a doctor's call to put it in.
But you
right?
can't guess either. Or you might have a delayed concussion. You're in.
It did the HIA.
any head
said he's
contact,
fine.
at all,
Nah,
then
nah.
it'd start having
You
no
gotta
players.
trust the doctors.
You'd need 15 players on the
Yeah,
bench.
you got to trust the doctors. But they do need to be independent. I do like the NRL. The earpiece of the umpire says,
They're out.
they just blow the whistle, walk over and say, Nick,
Whatever
you're
the-
off.
did you
And then
see,
off they go.
The player last night for the Matildas, she subbed on like 1 minute later. She had a stumble and they're like, hey, no, you're
Oh,
out.
no, I didn't see it.
Yeah, and head knock. And I think she said she was fine. They put her back on, but it was a weird stumble.
Yeah, right. Were you Ashes last night or you're not a cricket man?
Dual screen.
Oh, a little bit, but yeah.
you-
Had a little iPad
What did
perched
you
on
want?
on the coffee table.
What was on the
watching
main
Matildas.
screen?
Matildas.
Was it?
Yeah, trying to get there every time. Like my daughter shows interest in a sport, I'm really like I'm all in.
Right.
I buy her a jumper. Come on, and then next week it's in a pile somewhere.
Yeah. I
My
know,
little
I'm
fella's
like
just started collecting footy cards.
Oh, yeah.
He's all in. Like
Yeah,
he's
nice.
organising them every
Because
day.
now you can buy them at the servo and not feel like that's a waste of $4.
100%. I'm collecting them with
Yeah.
him. Like, oh, you got this, you Charlie Kerno. How good's
Yeah.
that? And he's like, oh, I don't even know who that is, but great.
Yeah.
Like,
There was a drinking game we used to play by taking a pack of cards out, and it was like, right, if you can guess what player this is, and you'd say it's Carlton,
Yep.
it's a skull or you got to buy the round.
When you
or
read
whatever.
off some statistics or something.
Yeah,
or you
just what a clue or whatever, and it'd be bang, Charlie Kerno, off you go to the bar. Yeah, I don't
love
know why.
that.
Well, you had to guess it, or you could.
No, if you had the deck, you couldn't be guessed. So
yeah, but
like,
you have to guess it right, and then
guess it right, you win.
You
And
can play
then
some
don't
good
have to buy
drinking
it.
games that as a football.
I think
'cause you
Scotty Selwood randomly had a pack of cards in his pocket, like was getting a drink on the way or whatever, and was like, "Oh, I'll buy a pack of cards."
See what-
and we turned it into some game. It's bloody good
Fantastic.
yeah, Dill Buckley does like the
Yeah, they
blind
do that
ranking.
now, yeah.
You pull out a card, you have to, and it's just like a 1 to 5. You don't know what the rest
Yeah.
of them are, but you have to put them in the list.
So say Lance Franklin came out.
Yeah.
Where do you put him,
first?
1
You're
to
like
5?
current players. Is he 3, 1, and then sure enough, out of the blue comes
Gary Ablett Jr.
Gary Ablett Jr. You're like, Nick Dacos or whatever. It's bloody good because
Yeah,
you've got to really have a punt where you think might come here.
Yeah, I like it.
And it also might mean that nothing comes and you got Kieran Briggs at number 1.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
That'd be
shit.
about right. Briggsy
yeah,
deserves
it'd be
to be number 1. Oh, fantastic. Is that us?
What were we
Are
talking
there?
about there?
Port Adelaide.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, thank you, Kate.
Is that the end of the list?
Kate.
I didn't need any
That's the
more
end of the
Port
list. So the list went. You can blow the siren, Kate, if you like. So again, if you want to try to send us your answers on what you think this order was from the games last week in round 20, here's what James had.
Are we like revealing them at the start of the next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Adelaide, West Coast, St Kilda, Western Bulldogs, Gold Coast, Carlton, Sydney, Richmond, Geelong, Melbourne, Fremantle, Collingwood, Essendon, GWS, Brisbane, Hawthorn, North Melbourne, and Port Adelaide. Do you guys want to have a crack now? Just want to have a stab in the dark?
So give me the last two again.
Port Adelaide and North Melbourne. Port was last, and North Melbourne was second last. At the top of the tree was Adelaide,
Yeah.
and then West Coast.
So both poor games at the back end.
well, if you do the math,
Wait, and it can't hold.
hold on a minute. Can you not work it out? Adelaide's on top. Port Adelaide's on the bottom.
I'm going to go. I'm going to guess.
Biggest losses on the weekend.
Nah, lowest scores.
No, West Coast is second. North Melbourne is second last.
Ah.
These teams played each other.
Yeah,
on
no,
the
I get
weekend.
that. But Port Adelaide scored 65 points. North Melbourne scored 67.
Yeah, but that's not what it is.
No, but I thought it might have been.
It's something to do with winning or points in a way. Like in a way. I'll give you that hint. And
Wait, do you
everybody,
know it?
Yeah, he sent me the answer.
Turn
this
this off because I'm about to find out what the answer is.
week. Okay.
All right. Oh, do we need to announce our boys?
Oh yeah, okay.
Cowboys.
Can you remind me who did I have
I
last
think this
week?
is running dead because we can't remember who they
Yeah,
were.
I can never
Yeah, right.
remember anymore.
Was I
Pretty
here
sure I
last
had
week?
Briggsy, and I'm
That's
just going
what
to
I've also
leave
gotta
him in
check.
the number 1 spot. But
I'm sure I was here last week. Oh, yeah. So you had Marcus Windhager and Libba. You had
who I did?
Sicily and
Yeah,
Hoff.
right.
Yeah, right.
this is last week.
That's weird.
I had Sam Taylor and Rosie. Mate, yours weird every week. All right, just throw something out. What do you got?
Hey, well, I'm going to put Briggsy back in at the
Briggs.
number 1 spot, and I'm going to put man McElhaney.
Oh, yeah.
Give him the back, Michael-Aney.
I think it's Michael Laney.
I think you would. Be
Yeah, that's it.
Is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Michael-Aney?
It is
Yeah.
Michael Laney.
Okay, we'll put Michael in.
I know stuff.
Max Michael-Aney.
I'll go after his game on the weekend. I'll throw Alex Pearce up there. That was good from
He was
the
very
fella
good.
down back.
Yep.
And as a backup, well, Toby just sits there, happy as Larry.
Okay, I'm going to go to my feathered friends.
Wow.
Wayne Miller goes in at backup, and my leader of the pack is Matt Crouch.
Hey.
All right, this has been the Hardball Gets AFL show, proudly brought to you by the Mazda BT50 You Do Ute. And don't forget to get your local sporting highlights in to the BHP Streamer Screamer. Go to streamer.com.au/screamer to enter for a chance to win $5,000. All right, see you next week.